happened there? Okay, we got it. Okay, this is Jack Moore, More to Consider. I'm with Charles, and I'm with a new guest that we have not had on yet that is an old baseball buddy. I'm going to be bringing in a bunch of people tonight. We're going to sit here and watch the World Series together and talk about baseball. I have Pete Berrios of Detroit, Michigan. Talk to me, Pete. How are you, sir?
Oh, thanks for having me, Jack. It's always excited to talk a little sports, a little baseball with you. This time of year is a great time to watch the game. And for young people, it's a great time to watch the game and pick up some things. There's some really good things happening over the playoffs. And it's always an opportunity to watch some magical thing happen. So appreciate you having me.
Okay. And Charles is here. Charles, you and Pete are meeting for the first time?
Yes. I believe so. Okay. Charles, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
Not too bad. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's good.
So Charles is my expert in law, history, politics, and the rest, and he's going to be every man here for the baseball part. He is a fan. And that's one of the questions I was going to ask tonight is like, what's your greatest memory of a World Series? And I'll tell you something. I'm sitting there watching the pregame. One thing I want to discuss is what Derek Jeter just said about today's game. It's kind of the stuff that I always complained about, and how it relates to. Oh, we got Thomari coming in here. I'm gonna. Okay, now we got the whole crew here. We got Gil coming. All right, I just introduced. This is Jack Moore again with more to consider. Have my friend Charles Hundley. Got my good friend Pete Berrios that I have introduced here as a great baseball guy, and now we have Thomari Harden. Thomari, how are you, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing great. It's a nice night out here in St. Augustine, Florida.
Yeah, you're probably 82 degrees right now? What are you looking at? 82?
Oh yeah, it's about 82 at a cigar bar. They're about to play the Dodger game, man. Life is good,
And so for the listeners, this is a great story. I meet Thomari in Florida with another baseball buddy. And one day, Pete is calling me, talking about, people he's got in his orbit doing things with. And he goes, man, I got this great friend, man. You got to meet him. You got to meet him Thomari. And I'm like, Thomari, just get off the phone with him. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we literally just got off the phone. And we did not know, Pete and I did not know that we both knew you. So that was a cool thing.
It's a small world.
It is.
God brings people together for a reason, a season, and sometimes a lifetime. And, you brothers have definitely been that in my life, very influential in my life. And you guys have mentored me. And I really appreciate just our relationship. It means a lot to me.
Well, you know how much we love you, man. And when we've missed you, and this is a good time for us all to catch up. I'm around Pete quite a bit. I'm around my friend Charles here quite a bit. Gil's going to be coming in as well. Gil Florentino. We broke bread together down in Houston, Texas together and had a good time at a restaurant down there. All right. So here's the first question. Let me make the statement. I want everybody's reaction to this. And Charles, I want your reaction as well. So I'm just watching the pregame, and they're talking about the playoffs, the history, the big moments, and we've all lived them. They just talked about a lot of the game sixes, and I thought about like this is a 50th anniversary of the Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds, which I remember. Game 6 was the night Fisk hit the home run. Game 6 was the night Buckner made the error in 1986. Game 6 was Joe Carter's home run. It was a lot of Game 6, tremendous history. But I want you guys' reaction. Derek Jeter just said, and this is the stuff I cry about all the time because I'm an old man. You guys are all young, but this thing of everything, Jeter was saying everything now is a moment. It's the guy that hit the home run last night. It's the celebrate. And he kind of made a comment like too much celebration. He goes, but now when you get to 7 games over roughly 10 days ish, when you go into the World Series, you've gotten this far into the playoffs. It's put up or shut up. It's a different kind of atmosphere. It's a different game. And he just said, this is what the kids should be watching because you're watching people under pressure. Pete, let me come back to you, brother. What do you think of that statement, especially from a guy like Derek Jeter?
Someone like Derek Jeter, who's won on the highest level, he's done some magical things in big moments. And I know he always talks, I'm from the great state of Michigan, right outside Detroit, like you mentioned in that. Here's a guy that grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, not a baseball hotbed. He grew up the same time I did. We all knew who he was. We knew he was going to be a first-round pick, but there was no internet back then, and so you really didn't know what was going on. And he didn't play on some perfect game travel team. He wasn't traveling the country. So when you listen to him talk, and he always says, hey, I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, even though my grandmother was in the New Jersey, New York area, I always wanted to be a Yankee. So when you listen to him talk about the things that he learned from his family and his mother and his father, and then playing locally in Kalamazoo, Michigan, he said that stuff took him all the way into the minor leagues, because obviously we all know he struggled a little bit in the minor league. And then he gets to the big leagues. And right when he stepped foot on the big league stadium, he showed up. So for him, it was always a tryout. He said that I never wanted to lose my job for over 20 years. He was the shortstop of the New York Yankees. He said
he was a great player.
My job every day. So
but Petey, what I'm asking you is, like, he's making a comment about how the game's being played now, and he's saying that all the jumping up and down, and I'm on super travel team growing up, and I'm a prospect. None of that means crap when you're into this pressure cooker right now, when it's all these big moments. And I think he's saying, and you have some strange heroes come up too. There's been some, Don Larson throwing a perfect game. It wasn't exactly like, as a matter of fact, in that same series in 1956, he got his ass handed to him just days before.
Yep.
He wasn't even sure he was going to start, and then he goes out and throws a perfect game. So we have all that kind of history.
But I think in Derek Jeter's case, he understood the game on a different level. You know, when you go to the perfect games, everything is kind of handed out to you. You always got these specialized coaches, or you're doing private instruction. He's more blue collar, grassroots. You got to play to stay in the game. And so for him, it was like that maybe his whole life. So when he was in these big moments, I think he was ready for it because of the way he developed and maybe not being in those big atmospheres growing up. And I think when he got under the bright lights, I think he embraced it. And I think that's what happens tonight. You're going to find out who's going to embrace the big moments. So I think Derek Jeter was, his whole life was prepared for the big moments. And you got to give his mom and dad and his grassroots, the people he was around, that had him ready for those moments, because he showed up in the biggest games.
No doubt. All right, I just got a little note here for mental health in the movies with Laura Giles. That's our lady. That's our lady that is our producer. She says, hi, guys, and happy World Series. All right, Thomari, I'm going to come to you. State of the game. So, again, I think that Derek Jeter was taking a real jab at modern baseball. I think that's exactly what he was saying. That's how I took it. And I agree with everything Pete just said. The guy was a very special competitor. But I think that he's also saying that in this environment today, kids are too concerned about what they see on TikTok or the last viral moment. And the game is not about that. And you're going to have your moments in these games that are either going to make you a hero or make you a GOAT. What do you think about the state of the game and the kind of comments he's making?
I mean, the state of the game has definitely changed from our era, where I feel like just hard work is a different language nowadays with the new generation. We live in a world where it's a world where these kids are feeling entitled. You know, they're not putting in the work. They're not, like to Pete's point, Derek Jeter, he grew up in Kalamazoo. He grew up in a small town. I grew up in Richmond, California, like underserved communities, underseen communities. What do we have to do? We had to work hard. We had to put in the time, and we didn't have the travel ball coaches. We didn't have the pitching coaches and the hitting coaches and our nice bags and our nice bats. You know what I mean? We didn't have that. We had to, whatever we got. I had a little tee, and I had a fence in my neighborhood, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just saw some people hitting off a tee, and I'm over here just hitting. You know what I mean? And it's because I knew, people like Willie McGee came into my life, and they said little things like soft feet make quick hands, and then they just leave, and you just got to figure out what is he talking about? Soft feet. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just a different day, because nowadays, you have the launch angle, you have all these different, gurus that want to kind of come into baseball and say you have to do this. I mean, baseball's been around for over 100 years, right? So at the end of the day, instead of I feel like these players, they think it's a quick fix, and every parent thinks their kid's going to be the next Barry Bonds. But at the end of the day, we have to still be mentored by people that have been there, that have had success. Imagine being mentored by somebody like Derek Jeter, or for me, Reggie Smith. You know what I mean? Like
Love
I've
Reggie.
been lucky. I had Reggie Smith for 30 years of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's different, you know, where you have somebody that's going to give you the real. And then like nowadays, you know, so I think Derek Jeter is really like talking about the age and the time.
I think so too.
It's different.
I do
You
too.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I think something that's been lost is respect for the game. So Charles, I'm going to come to you. So we're going to go down a little bit different road. I mean, I don't know. Did you have an opinion of what Jeter said? I know you're kind of a Yankees fan, right? What do you think about what Jeter said? What's your take on that? If you have
Don't
a
you
take on
think that it's really a case of anyone who comes from a different generation is always going to have that type of opinion? They just
all
are.
right. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Because we argue
Yeah.
about this all the time, but I got something to say. Go ahead. Say what you're
Yeah,
going to say.
they're going to have that type of opinion because they're always going to say that, well, the kids now, they always refer to them as kids. They're not working as hard as we used to and so on and so forth. But, you know, that's something that happens throughout time. There is no period that I can think of where it wasn't exactly the case. But I do think social media has something to do with this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to, well, you know what? Now I sit here and think about it. Is it social media, or is it that the case that these guys are trying to make a name for themselves because they know that their next contract is about to come up? And they have to, again, put themselves out there. They have to be a little more flamboyant or boisterous, if you want to call it that, than they would normally be, just to get the eyes on them. Just to get, it kind of sort of goes along with that. There's no such thing as bad, what do you call it? Bad, not, oh gosh, not advertisement. I'm at a loss of words right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Press. Yeah,
Yes.
That's all. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. So what one person may say is, oh, that dude's, you know, he's really going over the top. Another person might say, you know, I never really noticed that person, and now I'm actually taking note to actually what they're doing. So Jeter, you know, I cried when Jeter, you know, when he played his last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years, 12 years now. I can't believe it's been that long. It's been that long since he was playing. You know, it's crazy.
It's been a good while, man. And
yeah.
he's old school. But to someone who was a Reggie Jackson fan, they're like, no, he's the new guy. So it's just, I think it's a generational thing.
Okay.
Can I say something really quick that I think can relate to what Thomari said? And also,
go, Pete.
First of all, Thomari, good to see you, man. I love you. When the national anthem is played at a sporting event, for me, it could be hockey, basketball, women's lacrosse, okay? It can be softball, baseball, whatever it is. I still get emotional. And I don't see young people getting emotional when those things happen. My family's big University of Michigan fans. I go to 2 or 3 games a year, probably go to the Ohio State game this year. When I walk in that stadium, guys, it takes me back to when I went when I was 5 years old. Okay? That's 50 years ago. And so I don't see young people today with that natural feeling of joy or natural feeling of emotion when it comes to being a part of something special, even in the little league or the junior high or the high school level. I just don't see that general passion that we all had growing up, and it was a big deal. I stood up when the national anthem was on in my parents' house, and I took my ball cap off, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world to respect the game and to respect what America's given us all an opportunity to do. So that's the thing. I don't see the emotion that we had growing up. I don't see it at all.
Let me just say this about, again, I think you guys will agree with me on this. There's just things in different generations. And first of all, Charles, I totally agree with you. I heard it when I was 18 years old, playing in high school or playing in summer leagues or whatever. You know, we heard that everybody grew up walking 6 miles uphill to school and, you know, in both directions, you know, to the school and back. And we heard all of that. And I know my dad had it tougher and his dad had it tougher, and we know all that. But I think the thing that was different, and I still go back to, I still think if you look in the dictionary and you look up the word MAN, if you look up man, you find Jim Brown. You can match up whoever you want to in professional sports history, but I saw an interesting interview with him. Now, Jim Brown played from 1956 or 57 to 66 and walked away from the game. He's doing the dirty dozen or 65. He played 9 years, in the league and led the league in rushing 8 of them. Okay. The guy played 9 years. He led the league in rushing 8. But, He's being interviewed, and he goes, what do you think about the spike in it? What do you think about the celebrations? And he said, in my day, if you did that, you were a chump. You were Bush League. You were considered a joke. Like, what are you doing, dude? You danced around the end zone? What is that? You weren't considered a man if you did that. Because the guy said, you just to hand the ball to the official. He goes, yeah, I acted like I was going to do it again. We didn't do that stuff when I was playing. Then you started slowly seeing it come into, I was actually watching an NFL game the other day, and a commentator made an interesting point. It was a fumble recovery. It wasn't it was a pretty routine fumble recovery. The guy that went down on the ball for the defense really couldn't go anywhere. He was touched down. He couldn't go away. He gets up and sprints. Here comes the whole defense. They all slide in the end zone, and they're all doing the whole posing thing. I'm like, damn, he just recovered a fumble. And that's what the game has become. Now, that's what's become the expectation. And I think that's what Jeter's talking to a little bit. But we had a talk among the coaches I coach with now in baseball, and they were saying it's just true. And the other guys know this. And we've been a part of it. We try to do a better job. But there's so much travel, and in the travel and so much in the showcase baseball, the kids literally don't know how to play. They show their talents. But, I was coaching in a summer league a couple years ago, and I couldn't believe it. I was talking to kids about switching coverage in the middle, depending on who should be in coverage in the middle on a steal. And they're like, Coach, you're blowing my mind. I don't know. And I said, you guys don't look for location and pitch to decide where you're supposed to be on the pitch. Do you signal pitches to the outfield? 5 guys there, some of them playing Division I baseball. They never heard of the concept of signaling from the infield to the outfield what pitch is being thrown. And I asked a coach, I'm like, what's up with that? And he goes, well, if you say too much to them, it kind of destroys it. It blows their head up. They're not ready for that kind of information. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like high school stuff, I thought. So they don't know the game as well, but what they're being taught is show your wares, go to all these different things and show that you can run, throw, hit, whatever. And nobody really teaches them how to play baseball. And I think that's showing up. We're looking at the World Series. Let's be fair about, as Americans, we grew up in America, right? We grew up in the United States of America. Who's representing the major leagues now? A lot of Latin American and Asian kids, right? Yes. So American kids apparently aren't doing it as well. It's getting them into college, but we've talked about the demographic. Black kids are not playing the way they used to as far as the numbers. It's as low as it's ever been since Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. So that's a segment. Kids are getting priced out. And let's face it, white kids, black kids, every kid, they're getting priced out of the game because they have to play on these elite teams, and it's a big cost in doing so. So the Latin American kids and the Asian kids have really just with the Asian kids alone. And I love it. I love these kids coming out of Japan. But what percent of Major League Baseball are they now? What were they 10 years ago or 20 years ago? So the game is changing. And somebody's stepping in the breach and deciding to be the major league players. And so that brings up the whole point. So we've talked about the dynamics of that. Let you guys go, Pete and Thomari, jump in, either one. Are we failing somewhere in development of players? I've pretty much let the cat out of the bag. I think we are, but something's happening. Thomari, talk to me. You're working with kids all the time. What do you think?
Yeah, so I've been working with kids for the last 20 years, and I was fortunate enough to back in my day, there wasn't travel ball, but there was what's called the Goodwill series, when Bob Williams, he was the founder of the area code game. He gave me an opportunity to go to Australia and play. So take a kid from Richmond to Australia, that's a big culture shock. That was a big, Tom McNamara and Jim Colburn were my coaches, which they were international scouts at the time. Right. And so I feel like really, having mentors like them at a young age, and again, going to getting out of your comfort zone, part of entitlement is being comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. And so anytime you can get out of your comfort zone and go to another country or maybe another state and experience the game, it hits different. And in fact, it accelerates your development process, because you're uncomfortable. And so the values that your parents have taught you, things that you learn from your coaches, you get thrown into the fire, then, you see the ones that are prepared and you see the kids that are not prepared, and I feel like, and I'm taking it back to when I came up, and, maybe a player doesn't get fortunate enough. Like I just feel like it was a gift from God, first of all, just to even for me to even to play baseball, to get drafted or anything like that. And I feel like when you follow your dream and you follow coaches and you follow mentors, it's how good is that mentor in your life? How good is that father in your life? Or how good is that mother? You know, I had a single mom, you know, she was a strong woman, kept me out of trouble, you know, and so it's all these things that you have to have that foundation, you know, and that's really what we're talking about, because then when you transfer that into today, all we have to do is get back to the old school ways and then use the new school and kind of combine them. It's like old school, new school, just like analytics and the eye test. You know what I mean? You got to mix both. There's not one or the other. Baseball is evolving. So as we evolve, we have to evolve together. You know, we can't like have one, you know what I mean? We're better together than we are apart at the end of the day. And it's really, you know, having like, you know, programs for these players and coaches that, you know, because there's a lot of watered down programs. Let's be honest. There's a lot of money grab camps out there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Petey, what's all the answers? What do you got for us? What do you think? What do you think are the answers to where the game is?
Hit it right on the point.
Yeah.
I got something on my I don't do a lot of social media, but there was something on my Facebook about some new. I'm a college head coach in softball, and there was something about some new kind of, I'm not mentioning names, but there's new facilities nationwide. Right. I actually wrote something today, Thomari, very similar. Underneath it, I said, I don't think there's enough quality instruction for somebody to be charging top dollars, and you're watering down the processes for young people to grow by building these facilities where who's giving the instruction then? I'm 56 years old. I've coached at every level of my career, and I'm still learning. I learned a new term tonight, soft feet. I say slow feet, but I'm going to start using soft feet. And I've known Thomari for 15 years, you know? So I think I think the quality of the mentorship is important. And I knew when I grew up, if you played Little League or like farm ball or pony league and stuff, maybe it was a dad, maybe it was a mom, maybe it was an uncle, but those people really held you to the coals, and it might not have been the greatest ABCs and 1-2 instruction, but you were held to a really high standard at a young age. I don't really see that anymore. I see the kids controlling the environment, and they do what they want. They wear what they want. I mean, I'm not trying to get off track here, but who would ever thought we would see the New York Yankees wearing lime green shoes in the middle of a home game at Yankee Stadium in the playoffs?
And giving up on the facial hair.
I don't get it.
What about the facial hair part?
I about fell over in my seat. George Steinbrenner must have got to be turning over in his grave. So
what about the facial hair thing too? They gave up on that.
I saw the line, you know, Charles, you're a Yankee. I saw lime green, and people say, "Well, what does it matter?" It does matter to me. It does.
Mickey Mantle didn't wear that.
Derek Jeter never wore lime green in Yankee pinstripes. Okay,
guys, I got something that's coming up right now. Ohtani's getting ready to come up. So let me ask you this: there's been some discussion. I think he's had 2 elbow surgeries, right? It's 2, right? Well, first, let's start this. Charles, I'm gonna put you on the spot first. Is he the greatest player? Is he the greatest player of all time?
Well, hold on. I got to go back to the lime green shoes.
Oh, you want the lime green shoes? Okay, you want to address that first.
Was that in October that they wore lime green?
Yeah, it was. It would have been sometime in early October. Yeah.
So, do you guys remember about? I can't remember the guy's name right now. Who probably 10, 12 years ago in the NFL wore lime green shoes during October, and he was fined for it. Remember that?
Yeah.
He wore lime green for mental health awareness.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
That's why he did it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to assume that the Yankees did the same thing.
It could be.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume
check into that. Let's check into that.
I think they were doing it throughout the year, though. The guys were doing it.
Throughout the year.
Wearing pink belts, and I'm seeing all kinds.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff.
And there's Charles. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm all for exuberance and sharing your feelings and stuff. I'm just saying that when you have the environments of the New York Yankees and the class, probably the greatest sports corporation in the history of sports, and you start to lose a little bit when you watch the Yankees play the last game. It just doesn't seem like the same Yankees that I grew up with. And that's what I mean by that. It just seems a little different. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think also,
I agree with
Charles, tell me if I'm wrong too. I believe when we had this conversation before, you said it was another one of these, like, you know, it was breast cancer awareness or something, but like they could wear pink. And this guy went lime green, but it was because of the mental health thing. And then he got busted for it because it was acceptable to wear another not team color, but not that.
Right.
And then, okay.
The reason that the NFL fined the guy is because they thought of him not being a team player and wearing something other than the pink. But his argument was, I suffer from mental health. So
I got you.
I don't get enough awareness when it comes to mental health, and that's what he was doing. So, I mean, okay, if that's what they want to do. I personally, again, I've been a lifelong Yankees fan, and I have to agree with you, Pete, 100%. They were the standard. They were the gold standard for quite some time. And once Steinbrenner died, it kind of sort of started to go downward. But part of it, just my personal opinion, was competition. So there was some players was like, man, I'm not going over there. I'm not cutting my hair. I'm not going to have a clean shaven face.
Sure.
And the Yankees started to lose out on some, prospective players that were coming solely based on their standards that, I mean, I have to say it, had nothing to do with their playing abilities.
Okay.
All
right, guys, go ahead, Thomari. Thomari, what you got?
I think that's kind of like we're talking about two different, like, again, it's because we're in two different eras that if we're kind of trying to figure out how to blend them together, because, obviously when we talk about freedom of speech, that's being taken away from not only baseball players, but our society, right? And so, we're talking about that, but we're also talking about the Yankee tradition, and we're talking about, we're talking about culture, culture in the locker room, culture in the organization. Like the Yankees and the Dodgers, like I feel like coming up with the Dodgers, like they carried our plates, they treated us like royalty in the minor leagues, and I'm just like, I couldn't even, like, coming from high school to this, I'm like, but it's the culture of Tommy Lasorda being around and, being in the minor leagues and really, like, pulling us off the field and going us and taking us to a field where it's just you and Tommy and maybe three guys, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like not, I'm pretty sure not every organization was ran like that. But when you have the ability, like right now in this day and age, we're talking about different, where the game's changing, and so it's like, it's like, how can we, it's like, it's how can we marry the two? And the closer we get to marrying the two, then I feel like each side would understand each
and
era,
benefit. It benefits. Okay, guys. Charles and I sell our show that we do together all the time. It's Barbershop. Now, the other place you can be to do what we're getting ready to do is a sports bar type of environment. Petey, we do this all the time. We entertain people in sports bars all the time with this. Sure. Here's what I want to know. We didn't see Ruth play. Seen some grainy film. We got some ideas. Guys hitting in 1927 more home runs than teams hit. There were teams that didn't hit as many home runs as he did. And he came into the league and was a phenomenal pitcher, including, like, I think at the time it was the most shutouts, lowest DRA for some point in history. Left-handed pitcher, comes out of Baltimore, Maryland, ends up with the Red Sox, of course, famously sold to the Yankees, and we know the rest of the story, and that created the curse. Okay. A lot of people would go to him. I think a lot of people would say Bonds. They'd say Aaron. They'd say Mays. They'd say Mantle. What about Ohtani right now? Charles, I'm going to start with you. Yeah. Do you think there's an argument? Do you think there's an argument he's the greatest player that's ever played?
I can't say that for the fact that his career isn't long enough.
Okay, not enough there yet. Okay,
right. Yeah,
but
anybody can have a great year or two.
Right.
But
sure.
Can you do that over a period?
Give you that. But do you think he might be the greatest freak show ever? An ability to throw 100 miles an hour and hit bombs like that. Is that kind of fair? Yeah,
I agree with you on that one.
Petey, what do you got for me? Is he the greatest player of all time, or is he just the greatest talent?
I enjoy the game, and anytime like Thomari said earlier, anytime there's an era, there's always, for me, it was people might have said Deion Sanders was too flamboyant 20,
Right.
30 years ago.
Right.
But if you watch the game, the guy played the game the right way, right? So
he covered well. He wasn't the greatest tackler.
Yeah, but my point is, he's still one of the great players, but he was flamboyant.
He was
So
awesome. I love Deion.
You think of a guy, you go to Air Jordan, you go to Derek Jeter, you can go to Joe Montana, you can go to Tom Brady. All these things happen, but the one thing that I got to give to Ohtani is that the Dodgers are a team, but they're winning. So he's putting up big numbers.
Yeah.
The team is also winning.
Yeah.
And what also I like about him, though, it seems like he's more of a glue. When you have a superstar, sometimes they spread the team out. He seems to me, seems like the guy that brings everybody together. So
totally agree.
I like the way he loves the game. I think he respects the game on a level where I think a lot of players right now, I think they respect the game, but I think he's a little more old school how much he loves the game. I really do. I think he really generally cares about the game of baseball. He plays the game free and easy, and that's what
he does that.
So,
and some of that might be language barrier. I always thought that. I mean, some of you guys have probably played tomorrow. You probably.
I personally would rather see Thomari in the lineup right now. Watch him, man, because I know I'd be able to get some good stuff from him.
All right, Thomari. Just kind of focusing on that. It's a freak show. I mean, you got a guy that's hitting 3 home runs in a game. He strikes out 10 in 6 innings. I mean, that's unheard of. But there is that question I'm going to bring up next. We'll kind of feed that into you as well. Should he be doing both? There have been people critical. 2 elbow surgeries. Is it too much? Because remember, after the other night with the 9 times on base and up until 5 a.m. or whatever they were, he didn't have the best outing on the mound. Was that fair to him? Give him another day? I don't know. But where do you think he is from the talent standpoint? Do you think he's all of that?
Yeah, from a talent perspective, I think he's somebody that we've never seen before. And I don't think, and I'll venture out to say, I don't have a crystal ball, and but I think he's talent-wise, as far as talent translating into performance, he's the best that we'll ever see. I think.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so.
And again, I'm, I don't know what the future holds, but I know there's nobody that you can compare him to in the past.
Right,
the only person that you can come close to is Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? And when if that's the only person you can come close to, I think
pretty good.
The argument is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Ruth shut down the pitching to become that hitter. So he's still doing both, but there are people that question.
But still steals bases too. We forget
he's
about
fast.
that.
He's fast. He can
That's
run.
what I'm saying. When you think about a total package, you say a 5-tool player, and then I often look at the 6th tool being your makeup. His makeup, on and off the field, you can't tell. That guy never gets rattled. And even when you try to rattle him, he'll smile at you and give you a hug and head.
But again,
and bow, and like
how much is that? But how much of that is language barriers sometimes? Don't you think, guys? I mean, I guess he probably knows more and more English, but I always think those guys, if you go to another country and get dropped, they may be calling you everything but a child of God. You're kind of like, whatever. You hear noise, but you don't really know what's being said, and maybe you're kind of cut away from it. Okay, here we go. Lightning round. You ready, guys? Lightning round. Here we go. This is we're getting into your best. Charles, be ready here. We're getting into our best sports bar. Here we go. Charles, all time, 150 plus years of baseball. Who do you take at catcher? Who's your catcher?
Pudge Rodriguez.
That's a great. Petey.
Because of the wins and because he showed up in playoffs and World Series, how can you argue with Yogi Berra? So.
Oh, great answer. Great answer. Thomari, who you got?
Okay.
Oh, man. Man. Best offensive, if we could go offensive hitter, Mike Piazza. I go.
Yeah.
Hey, I got Piazza.
He's a great hitter. He's a great hitter.
His Batman, you know what I mean? Like
Yogi put up some big numbers, though. People forget. Yogi hit a lot in the playoffs.
Hey, we've all gone with very respectful, and I'm going to go bench. I love some Johnny Bench. But
Awesome.
Ivan Rodriguez, catch throw guy, and a great offensive player. But I do respect Piazza. And man, you're right about Berra. Although Berra did play quite a bit of outfield as well, so he did play some other positions. But he's one of the most. I actually heard a guy discuss this, and I think it's true. because of the yogi-isms and all the other kind of people make fun of the fact he was a funny guy or he had some kind of quirks about things. People from that son of a gun could play baseball like nobody. Like you don't play in that many World Series and win that many titles and all the rest.
I believe it's 10. I believe it's 10 rings.
Yeah, he won 10. He won 10 titles, and he was almost in it almost every year. So, okay, now I'm going to start back around. I'm going to start back with Thomari. Thomari, all time, brother. You got anybody you want? Who you got at first base?
Oh man, first base. Wow,
right around the horn.
I'm gonna go with the big. I'm gonna go with the Big Hurt.
Okay, love that.
Oh,
love that. That's a good pull, right?
I'm going to hey, he can hit. I mean, like he impacted the game. Hit for power, hit for average, play D. You know, I mean, he's one of the players I looked up to, and I was like, man, if I can be like that guy right there, you know what I mean? So and
by the way,
he carried himself too. You know, he carried himself very well. You know, so yeah.
People watching live right now in the comments, people watching live, tell us. Go through the whole lineup: catcher, first, second, short, third. Go right on around going right around the horn. Petey, who you got at first?
I was just thinking of a bunch of guys from Will Clark to Fred McGriff, and I mean, there's a bunch of going through my mind. But you know what, guys? I think I got one. You're gonna like Eddie Murray.
Great player, 500 plus home runs hit from both sides of the plate. Yeah,
Eddie Murray.
Yeah,
I like that.
Charles, who you got?
I like that,
dude. Okay, this is way out of my range. I have somebody in mind.
Give it. Exactly no, there's no wrong answers here. We're at a sports bar.
I understand, but I'm not exactly sure if he played first base.
You know what? That's going to be a tough one too, because a lot of guys I like Jazz. Jazz completed his career at first. He was a great left fielder. He only ended up his career at first base. There's a lot of guys that didn't start at first. Who?
Nick Poppy.
You know, I was going to say Poppy, but I'm going to give him DH. All right. That's where I'm going to go DH.
I got my DH waiting for you guys. So
you're going to go Edgar Martinez, and you better. Okay, yeah, you're going to go Edgar Martinez. That's one of the greatest professional hitters of all time. But Charles, who do you want?
The person I'm thinking about didn't play first base, and it's Pete Rose.
He did.
Yeah.
He finished his career first. Oh yeah, he played first. So
okay, there you go.
He played like 5 different positions in the All-Star game.
I remember him in our era more of the first baseman.
Yeah, with the Phillies. Yeah, with the Phillies, he finished up.
Baseman, you know.
All right, so we got Big Hurt. You haven't. All right, Petey, give me
Eddie Murray.
You went Eddie. Okay. I'm going to go off the board with another guy that I love because a close friend of ours played with him. I love Willie McCovey.
Yeah.
Let's go Stretch McCovey. You like that? Okay. Now we're going to go down and dirty. This is going to be a tough one, I think, for most here. It's a tough position. Second base, who's the best? All right, Charles, going to start with you. Throw anybody out.
Pete Rose.
That's good. He did. That's where he started.
Yeah,
Petey, who you got? Petey, who you got at second?
You know what? It's there's a lot of good ones we can go all night, but I'm going to go with Joe Morgan.
Oh, man, I love that pull. Man, that was. I'm a Sox fan. No, he broke my heart because he beat us. But oh my God,
I'm go with Joe Morgan. I like. I did. I grew up in Detroit, but I'm going to go with Joe Morgan.
I did love some Joe Morgan. Thomari, who you got?
Oh man! You guys put me on the spot over here. Let's go Ryan Sandberg.
Ooh. And he just passed away this last year. God bless him. I will say this about that.
He's on my list, Thomari. He's on my list.
When I got the cable TV starting to kick in, I'm so much older than you guys, but I remember no cable. Then we had cable. And then, Turner Broadcasting carried the Richmond Braves when they had the strike that year and made Richmond famous in AAA. And then it was Atlanta games. And then I started seeing WGN. And it got to the point, and because they played during the day for the home games and they were only playing at night on the road up until the first game was August 8th, 1988. It rained out. So August 9th became the day they put the lights in, or they played under lights. But anyway, in that 84 season that they had that great season before they got knocked out by the Padres, I would see him all the time. And man, it's one of those things when you see a guy play every day. And let me say this real quick to another editorial comment. Because my boy Roop up here played with the Rangers, a guy that I love in my Mount Rushmore of great baseball players that I saw live is Michael Young. And I saw Michael Young play third, short, second, first. He played it all. Every time they brought a new guy in, they moved him to a position. And I asked Josh one time, like, who's the second base, shortstop? I don't care where you put him. Michael Young was a great player. But when you saw him, you go back and look at his numbers, 200 hits a year, all the time, 200 hits. He's kind of a silent superstar in the big. I mean, a lot of people like Michael Young. Michael Young. But you had to watch him play every day. Second base. I think maybe the best ever for me was probably Roberto Alomar.
Yeah, I was thinking about him.
Yeah, I think he might have been. But I like Joe Morgan, but Petey took him from me there. That's fair enough. So we went around the horn a little bit with that. Okay, I know where this is going to go. And I'm starting at Charles again. Charles, where you got a shortstop? Oh, my God. What do you got for shortstop here?
Some dude named Derek.
You're going to go Jeter. Okay, you're going to go Jeter. Petey, what you got? Petey, what you got?
I can't pick the same guy that Charles did, so I'm gonna go off grid a little bit. But one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I'm gonna go with Robin Yount.
God, I love Robin. Oh my God. I was thinking about him the other day. Man, you talk about raw bone, got athletic, but he ended up playing a lot of center field too.
Yep, but Hall of Famer.
Came up as a shortstop. Oh, and the second baseman we forgot was Rogers Hornsby. I mean, when you're going all time, because I've also thought of another all-time great shortstop.
Greg Biggio.
Love Biggio. Thomari, who you got at shortstop?
I'm going to go with my guy, Cal Ripken Jr.
Wow. Okay. Solid. Yep. Now, I've told the kids the other day that I'm coaching now. We were talking the other day about players. I said, guys, I used to go see him in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore before Camden. And I would watch him play, and I swear to you, he would be overstanding next to second, balls hit right to him. He's over in left field, balls hit right to him. He played, and y'all know the Ben McDonald story, right? So Ben McDonald told this story. He's a first overall pick. He's got a young catcher. They're in the clubhouse trying to figure out where they are, basically. And Cal Ripken overhears it. He goes, "What's up, guys?" He goes, "Well, Cal, we're going over the signs and we're going over strategies." And he goes, "I'll call the game." And Ben McDonald told this story. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, "I'll call it from short." They're like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Here's my signals." And he tells the catcher what he's going to signal from short. He calls the entire game from shortstop. He calls a major league game from shortstop, relaying it to the catcher, and the catcher calls the pitches based off of Cal. And then he knows where to position. So he's a great player, no doubt. So
his clock, his internal clock to know exactly how much time he had. It was just amazing to watch him play shortstop.
Big guy too, really big guy. See him in
6'4", 6'5" guy.
Yeah, big guy. Okay, so Petey, you didn't go Barry Larkin, Michigan. Come on, talk to me.
I had Alan Trammell on the list too, but I was gonna.
Gosh, Trammell!
I want to go. I can't. But you know what? But
you went Robin Yount over Trammell.
Yeah, I just something about Yount, the way he played the game. I think I went for it because he did some things I think people forget about. That guy was special, man. Yeah. He was just really special. So I wanted to go off. Trammell's my guy, but I'll go with Robin Yount, something a little different, All
right, I got to say this. I think, but only from seeing him on TV, I think Omar Vizquel may have been the best fielder. Unorthodox as he was, barehanded behind his back, whatever he did. I think probably the most talented ever was A-Rod.
Yep.
I think he had the most physical ability in any of them. Yep. But I will say this, and all of you have heard this ad nauseum. When my buddy got the interim job with the Rangers, I got to go to Fenway to go see my friend that was with the Rangers, and I got 2 days of watching Xander Bogaerts. And I got to tell you, you watch Bogaerts live. I thought he was like a third baseman playing shortstop, and I'm like, whoa, he's lean and he's fast. And that dude is amazing to watch. So their infield was Devers, him, and Trevor Story at second that day. Yep. Trevor Story's a dude when you see him play. But Xander Bogaerts on that eye test thing, man, that's a good-looking kid playing. So that's my Red Sox favorite, another guy that got away from us. But I do think A-Rod was probably the best that ever played it. I also saw Tony Fernandez in AAA on the way up. That guy was a magician too. He became a great hitter and kind of moved around. Oh, man, he was a good player. So there's a lot of guys we can think of like that. Now,
Jack, when I've asked some pros over the years, who would they take? Some guys, and the two guys they said they're most professional that they've ever been around. they both said it was Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, the two like the greatest.
Yeah.
The way they went about their business.
Right.
I'm not going to take
Molitor.
anything from Alan Trammell. I just wanted to go a little off grid right there and throw something out at you tomorrow.
Well, I may be wrong about this, but I think when Smoltz said he came up before the trade for Doyle Alexander, you know, and he went through the Braves in that trade.
In 88.
He said the first guy, I'm pretty sure I heard Smoltz say this. Check me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the comments tell me I'm wrong, but I think he said like my first time in Tiger Stadium, the guy that comes up and goes, "Hey, I'm here. I'm there for you, brother. Take care of anything you need. Hi, I'm Alan Trammell."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Whoa, like Alan Trammell has come up and greeted me that way." And he said he was shocked at just how professional he was and supportive he was. And by the way,
still involved the Tigers. He's still the same guy. They said he's helping. He's picking up garbage. He's picking up the locker room. They said he's still that guy. Still that guy.
by the way, that's another thing I want to say too about my boy Josh when he went up with the Rangers. Another shout out there to Michael Young. That's what he said. He got there to the Rangers. I'm looking at my uniforms hanging in the stadium. And here I look around. The guy goes, "Hey, Michael Young, I'm here for anything. Anything you need from me, I'm there for you." And I was like, wow. He goes, he's just a stand-up guy. Great teammate. Everybody looks up to him. All right, so we've gotten through shortstop. Now, this is where it's going to probably get a little bit hairy. So, Charles, I'm going to give you a little time to stir on this one. Are we getting any comments yet? Getting any crazy questions out there? Anybody giving us their lineup yet? All right.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, here we go then. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, Pete, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I
know
third base. I want to pick the same people for third base, correct?
Go. Well, what do you think?
I'm a George Brett guy, but I'm a Brooks Robinson guy. There's a lot of names, but I'm going to have to go with Michael Jack Schmidt.
I think everybody does. Yeah, I think everybody should probably
go with Michael Jack Schmidt. So you can't repeat that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I don't think you could absolutely touch that. What do you got tomorrow? You got the same guy?
No, I didn't know we could go same. I would have done that. already.
Yeah, we can always go same. Then you just give me your secondary guy. But yeah, you can always say same.
I'm gonna throw Scott Rowland out there. I think he's he gets overlooked. You know what I mean?
Hey,
what he could do with his bat and defensively, you know what I mean? Like
one of the greatest base runners of all time. First to third, no one better.
Going
first to third, incredible base runner.
Really good player. Really good player. What do you got, Charles?
Well, I got two guys.
Okay.
George Brett.
Yeah.
All right.
And Chipper Jones.
No.
Good pull. That's a good pull.
Yeah.
That's a good pull. That's a Hall of
Famer.
Both
of them. Both of
Jack,
them.
I thought Charles might even throw like a Greg Nettles in there, being a Yankee guy.
Yeah.
Well, strangely enough, when it comes to Chipper Jones, I despise the
Braves.
I'm just honestly.
I thought you were going to say Aaron Boone. I thought Aaron Boone was coming.
No, not Aaron Boone. But
and no A-Rod. You didn't go A-Rod. He did play third for you guys.
That's true. I thought about A-Rod actually when it came up to the shortstops. I thought about it, but I still have to give it to Jeter. But yeah, I despise the Yankees, the Braves, and Chipper Jones was pretty close to the top of that despise list. But I had to respect the guy. He was a good player.
Growing up 40 miles from Richmond, I heard all the stories. I think it's still a record. In a 144 game minor league season, the Double-A Braves of, I guess it would have been 93, win 108 games. And then that group all kind of gets promoted up together to meet a couple of guys that were already there. So here's what I'm going to tell you. First day I go to Richmond to see this, I guess it was the 94 club. Javi Lopez is behind the plate. Ryan Klesko's at first. Mike Mordecai's at second. Chipper's playing short. The kid, I can't remember his first name, and I feel terrible. It was Oliva. He was a Dominican kid. He ended up getting killed in a car accident. He was 26 years old when he passed away, sadly. But he was an up-and-comer as well. Left field was Melvin Nieves, traded for later in the season for McGriff. Center field was Mike Kelly, that was the number 2 overall pick. And right field was Tony Tarasco. Now, you're a California guy. I think Tarasco's from L.A., right? I think Thomari?
I
think he's an LA guy.
I'm not quite sure.
That was a AAA team. That was a team of AAA guys together. They all pretty much went up to Atlanta. Now, I ask guys this all the time. Of that group, who do you think I thought eye test was the best hitter in that group?
Tarasco.
He wore it out. And he was like 15th. He wore it out. He did. Melvin Evans was good. Kelly never really panned out. God bless him, and all that. But so the three outfielders, Chipper could play. I saw Chipper good. And Klesko had been in AAA a little bit already. And, Javi Lopez was definitely well above average catcher at major league level. But Tarasco could flat swing it. I mean, he could hit. And he had a good career as a hitter. So, yeah, you got I'm left on third base. I'm the only guy left at third, right? Only guy left. I think you have to say Mike Schmidt. I think you do. Brooks Robinson's one of those sentimental guys you have to love because his glove was amazing. He won World Series by himself by catching with a vacuum. I think Nettles has got a lot of history of coming up really big in the playoffs as a third baseman as well. But I think the whole defense, offense, just the position, Mike Schmidt was the best ever for me. I mean, I guess there's some other guys in history that probably, I don't know, third base, I think, when I think about the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Right now is pretty darn good.
Yeah. Okay, now we can go anywhere with the outfield. I'd like to go as much as we can till we know they played that position. So, Thomari, I'm going to start with you. When you think left fielder, who do you think?
Barry Bonds.
I don't think there's anybody else. Well, okay, I got somebody. You know where I'm going. I'm going. Can you see it? Can you see him right there? Oh, remember you found this somewhere, and I told you I'd already picked it up because I found it. There's Teddy Ball Game back here. Can y'all see that? Okay. All right, so I've given it up. I'm going Teddy Ball Game because I think he's the greatest hitter of all time. Although all respect to Barry because there's no question it all lines up. Charles, what do you got in left field?
Yeah. Well, since we can, say the same guy, I have to say Barry Bonds.
Yeah, I think All right.
I really do.
Petey, what you got in left field?
I mean, I think it's enough said,
I think you're right.
Let's see if I can give you a different left fielder.
I think Yaz is in the conversation.
I was going to say you got Yaz in left field.
Yeah, Yaz was a left fielder and played Fenway, played the wall.
All right, I'm just gonna throw a name out there, and I remember watching him as a kid. I'm gonna throw two quick Dodgers out there: Pedro Guerrero or Dusty Baker, left fielder.
Love Dusty. Love Dusty. Yeah, love Dusty. Yeah, love him. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our son. How about Lou? Lou Piniella played more right, didn't he? Or did he play left? Yeah, he played more left, but he was one of those guys who was a bat that happened to play left field. I gave that to you, Charles.
Out there that we missed real quick?
Yeah.
George Foster, left fielder, Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, he had the 52 home runs in '77 when that was.
He won the Triple Crown one year.
That I don't remember.
Yeah, he won the Triple Crown.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up because
I
know he had this. He had the 52 home run season in '77 when that was unheard of. Matter of fact, I worked on a military base in the '80s, and a guy asked me at that point, who were the 9 guys at that point in Major League history that had hit 50 or more home runs, and it was 9. And I was trying to figure this out the other day. It was Maris, Mantle, Mays, Mize, Greenberg, Fox. Did I say Ruth yet? Ruth. I keep missing the other guy. Ralph Kiner. So it's like 9 guys. Then there's been like 40 since. I mean, there's been a huge number since. But Foster became the 9th, and then the 10th was Cecil Fielder. And then, Brady Anderson did it. And then there started to be some questions about who's doing it. But we go through that period. All right. Now, this is going to be the toughest.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my favorite player of all time in the conversation in left field, and that's Ricky Henderson. And R.I.P. R.I.P. Ricky. My favorite
what a pull.
What a pull, brother. I think we're thinking about maybe more like centers, but Ricky is the left fielder. You're right.
He was a left fielder, and he's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. Gosh. We'll just go ahead and say that. Anybody in the comments who wants to take us up on that.
When
he's the greatest leadoff hitter.
When he passed away, Thomari, I wrote something on my Facebook. I think you saw it. Where I said it was an honor to wear the same colors that you did. I didn't wear it as long as he did, but wear the Oakland A's uniform. And as a kid, it was one of my childhood dreams to get a pair of Ricky Henderson Mizunos. And I got it for my birthday. I got the real Ricky Hendersons when I was like 13 years old. And and my mother and father took me to a private sports shop. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world where he was the one that had the poster before Bo had the one with the shirt off. Ricky Henderson had one too. Remember with the shoes wrapped around his shirt?
Oh yeah.
So
right,
Rick Anderson, you know what? You're exactly right. So him and Barry would be, it's incredible. So
Charles, this is for you because we've heard all the Ricky Henderson stories, but this is one of the more famous. And I've done a little background research and found it to be, I looked at one of these things, is it true or false? And it is true. So one year the Oakland A's are doing their books, ... and we're $1 million off to the good. Then it was, okay, cash register or the register, what do you not register? The calculator, $1 million off to the penny over and over. And then somebody's like, okay, here's what we got to do. Just look to see, did we ever write a check for $1 million? And it was a few, but they were like, oh, you know what? We wrote one for exactly $1 million and a signing bonus to, to re-up with the A's. We wrote it to Ricky Henderson. So they call Ricky. The story is they call Ricky, go, Ricky, we're having a little bookkeeping problem here. We're $1 million off. Did you still have that check? Yeah, I got it right on my wall. Told my mama that when I got $1 million check, I was gonna frame it. And he did. He framed $1 million check and put it on his wall and never cashed it.
Yeah. I heard that story.
And they say it's a true story.
Yeah.
He framed $1 million check. Yeah.
Didn't Bo Jackson play left field?
A little bit in some center, but yeah, he played both. He played center and left.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not enough longevity to get into all those kind of arguments, but well, and
was it
another.
Was it about his skills, or was it about?
No, he hurt his hip and he was done. I mean, when he went to the White Sox, but no, look. When it comes to if God puts together a team of guys and you said, okay, run out on the field with your best day, nobody touches Bo Jackson, I don't think. Although I will say this, you talking about another guy lost without the longevity argument. The best player my eyes have ever seen was Josh Hamilton. I never saw anything like Josh Hamilton. I saw Griffey Jr. good. I mean, I saw a lot of guys. I saw Jeter a lot. I saw a lot of players. I mean, God bless them, great players. But Hamilton, the best comp I can give you for Hamilton is you're a parent, the kids are playing in the backyard, and 18-year-olds beating the hell out of your 12-year-olds. And Josh Hamilton's the 18-year-old. It's sad the way things went down. It's sad, but I've never seen a guy that played the game that easy. Big, run, size 15 shoes, could run, could throw, could do it all. Great guy. I mean, great player. Been through a lot, but yeah. What are you going to say? Oh, I thought Charles had a retort to that. All right, here comes the position.
No.
All right, here comes the position that there's literally 15 people that could cover it. Let's face it, there's 15 guys. Center field will never get it right. I got a favorite for me, but if you have 16 other ones, you'll be right as well. So, Charles, we're going to start with you on this one. Charles, who's your center fielder?
Ken Griffey Jr.?
Man, huge pull. I love Ken Griffey Jr. I think that's a great call. Petey, who you got?
I have Mickey Mantle.
Ooh, you went Mantle. Thomari, what you got?
I'm going to go Ken Griffey Jr.
Really? I thought one of you would go the guy. Who's the greatest player of all time?
Mays?
Yeah, it's Willie.
I'm going to go Willie Mays, but like I got a chance to unfortunately I didn't get it, I didn't watch.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Willie Mays a lot. You know what I mean? I just seen footage and stuff. But watching Ken Griffey Jr. as many years as I got a chance to, I can't. It's hard to. Yeah.
I love everything about him. I just think
my favorite baseball player of all time is Mickey Mantle. So I got it. That's my guy.
So, hey, that's fair. Hey, you can't argue it.
Can't argue with Mickey.
I got a right fielder for you though. Tomorrow you're gonna like it. I got a right fielder. It's already in my pack.
All right, so you're up first, Petey. What you got in right field?
Roberto Clemente.
Oh man,
hard to argue with that.
Puerto Rican. Hey.
You took the guy there for sure.
Hey, that's my guy.
What you got, Thomari?
No, I was gonna go Roberto Clemente.
Okay, Charles.
Man, I mean, really, the sentimental value. Do I have a choice?
I'm gonna go Aaron. I think Hank has to be on our list here. I'm gonna go Hank. He has to be on the list. Yeah, Hank is great. Hank's got the numbers. So you got to go Hank somewhere. But I totally respect Clemente.
There's a special stat, Thomari and Charles, and I know Jack and I have talked about this during our bar sessions, but when he finished his career, his total bases, the second guy behind him is like 40 to 50 miles worth of 90-foot bases. Do you guys know who the second guy was? He's like 40 miles ahead of everybody else. If you
Stan Musial?
Yeah, it's Stan Musial. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So 40 miles ahead of everybody else.
Yeah,
Wow,
of course,
crazy.
the craziest stat on Musial is he had exact same number of hits on the road as he did at home.
Yeah.
Exact the same number. Yeah. But, it's just one of those quirks in baseball.
Total bases, I don't think people realize, they talk about Aaron did hit these booming home runs, but the guy was hitting doubles just as much as he was hitting home runs. They forget about that. His total bases was just outstanding. And he was a great runner, and he was a great defensive player coming up, in his career. And he could throw the ball as good as anybody. He had great hands. Fabulous.
I tell kids this all the time coaching. I've said it to your girls in softball practice, but I don't know if anybody – I just think this is the all-time greatest compliment ever. My buddy Tom House played 8 years in the big leagues, and he played with some really interesting people, like some really top-notch talents. He got to play with Aaron and Yastrzemski. And he said to me one day, he goes, what's the greatest thing I remember about both of them, like stood out to me the most in my career? I said, well, he goes, I never saw either one of them make a mental error. They never made a base running mistake. They never threw the wrong base. They made a physical error here and there, but he goes, Jack, I never saw Hank Aaron make a mistake. I never saw Yaz make a mistake. Like, they didn't make mistakes.
Willie Mays never threw to the wrong base. I know you've heard that before, Thomari. Never threw the ball to the wrong base.
Right.
Wow.
I think absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so those were special guys. But I'm thinking, like, if you left the game of baseball, if you had talent and pissed it away, everybody'd be kind of like, yeah, he could have been good, whatever. But I don't think there's anything more respectful or more would be a greater compliment than people said, yeah, you never made mental errors. I mean, that's pretty strong. Showed up to play. He loved Yaz. He said Yaz was definitely the leader. He really loved Aaron. And the last time I did a podcast, he wouldn't mind me saying this. The last time I did a podcast with Tom, he said that Aaron wasn't, because he was such a star compared to the team and he was going through what he was going through with the threats. I asked him, I said, were you aware of the threats against Aaron and all that he was going through in April 8th, 74, when Tom caught his home run to break the record? He said, I only did because, like, his best friend was Dusty Baker. He roomed with Dusty Baker. He roomed with Ralph Garr. Remember that day we were with Edwards and Garr was on the phone?
Yeah.
Well, that's another one of Tom's really close friends with Ralph Garr. So he got a little bit more access to Aaron because he ran with Dusty Baker a lot. But it was tough. It was a tough time for them. And it's 50 years ago now. It's been 50 plus years ago. All right. So we've gone through and in right field, I think there's an argument for Ruth. I don't think I spoke on that yet. I love Dave Parker. I just love Dave Parker because I love Dave Parker. So I got to throw Cobra's name in there. I love Dwight Evans. Dewey's got to get some mention just because of the arm strength. But I do think Clemente might be kind of the guy. But Ruth is a right fielder. All right, all that being said, here's what I got for you. This is my favorite ballroom questions. Thomari, I'm going to start with you. Your life depends on a guy on the mound, right-handed pitcher. Here it comes. Here's the big game. Who you got right-handed on the mound?
Bob Gibson.
Already.
I was going to say this. I got Gibson too. What do you got, Petey?
Really?
I got Jack Morris.
Yeah, love it.
You're talking about the money on the line. I'm going to go with.
I got one more right-hander. I got one more for you. But what do you got, Charles?
Thomari's laughing.
Greg Maddux.
Okay, all of us would say to get you from April 1st to September 30th, yes, but the history's not as great in big moments. Bob Gibson was lights out in the World Series, like crazy lights out. And so the other guy you have to consider is Kurt Schilling. I mean, Schilling was huge in big games.
Jack Morris was throwing 14 innings.
No. Morris was great. Morris, no. Yeah, but I mean, Schilling's history in the playoffs are pretty strong. Yeah. Schilling, I got to give him. I know he said stuff that upset people, but once again, he broke the curse, the bloody sock. You know the whole history.
Yeah.
All right, so there we got a left-hander. Thomari, who you got left-handed?
I like the big unit,
Yes, that's a good call. Him and Schilling locked it up. And That's actually I'm kind of giving away, Charles. That's your big World Series moment. We're going to bring up here in a minute, but yeah,
Not great.
Johnson and Schilling, they're together. Petey, who you got? Left-hander.
I'm going to go two. I'm sorry, but I'm going to take two lefties. I'm going to take Steve Carlton and Sandy Koufax.
Love it, Charles. What you got?
It was going to be Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, I think Koufax is the obvious choice, but I'll tell you somebody else. You could say it was 3 series where he was 20, 22, 24, I think, in the 3 series because it was 10, 12, and 14. Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, the Giants pitcher. Yep. Bumgarner.
God, he was crazy, especially that one year against the Royals. I think he gave up maybe 1 earned run in the whole playoffs or something. So he's a guy to consider. It's not the longevity that Koufax, who retired at 30, but had a crazy number of World Series that he was in. And people forget Drysdale was pretty great too. Drysdale was a great pitcher.
Righty.
But as a right-hander, exactly. Okay, so we've gone all the way around the horn. Let's go DH again. I'm going to go David Ortiz. You know that. Thomari, who you got?
DH. Man. I'm gonna go Big Papi.
Yeah, we gotta love. And by the way, he's the most clutch player. Okay, so. All right, we'll get to that argument next. Petey, what you got? DH.
I'm going to go. You already said it. Edgar Martinez.
I love Edgar Martinez. Yeah. Charles, all-time DH, Charles.
My favorite, Jose Canseco.
Oh,
okay. That's a pull I wasn't expecting, but yeah. Okay.
He's my favorite.
That, Charles. I respect that.
Yeah.
So we're in the bullpen the other day, and a lot of times I'm just tweaking the guys to get stuff going, but I was like, if you wanted to win games, there's no way you would take. Here we go. Ready? Jeter over Ortiz. They're scared. Oh, coach. I said, guys, look at the record when it mattered. And I pulled up the 20, and you can look this up. In the 2013 series, the team of the Red Sox hit like 150. He hit 680 when they beat the Cardinals. Like he carried them. He hit like 17 postseason home runs, and like 14 of them either put him ahead or tied the game. Like every one of them was consequential pretty much when he did it. For me, and again, I'm a Sox fan. I can't help myself. But I never saw a guy I thought it was as clutch as he was. Right? I mean, he carried some teams on his back. I know Jeter's a great player. I get it. He's a player.
Dude, I don't really think of Ortiz when I think of clutch.
I mean, I don't know. You don't think he'll win 3 World Series, including one first time since 1918? You don't think he'll do that because he did? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. 86.
Bat and glove.
But you know what? In 2013, he had to play first base because of the lack of DH rule in the Nash, and he played his ass off at first too. I don't think it wasn't like he couldn't do it.
I understand, but compared longevity, compared to Jeter, no.
All right. Okay. Jeter wasn't even the best shortstop on his team.
No, understood. I hear what you're saying. And I've heard people say that all the time.
All right, listen.
But when it comes to clutch,
I said it. Petey, back me on that.
That's fine, man. But when it comes to clutch, when really, truly,
I love
the
Jeter.
game's on the line,
I get it.
Jeter
and
pulls some
Nike
crazy stuff out of. He pulls some crazy stuff just out of his behind that people are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that."
Because
I know he doesn't have the rings, but when you want to talk about clutch, if you really look back at the playoff run, George Brett had some really big moments as a hitter.
He did.
He had a lot of big hits, and even though he didn't win he got a couple World Series rings in the end. But those playoff runs in the late '70s that he'd end up losing to the Yankees, he had some really big hits in those games, big ones. So,
and Thomari, who was your favorite player growing up?
Ricky Henderson.
Was Ricky okay?
I wanted to be just like him. When you're in Little League and you put on the back of the card your favorite player.
Yes.
Man, I put Ricky. I grew up in the Bay Area, so
right.
I grew up watching the Oakland A's, and the Giants, and so at the end of the day, he was the one I wanted to be just like him growing up. And so, how when you have your guys growing up and how powerful the game is, when you can want to emulate someone so much, you want to be just like them. That says a whole lot about how they carry themselves, how they play the game. You know what I mean? Like they become like a almost like a superhero to you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Sure.
it's nice to find out that your heroes, like I have all this signed Sonny Jurgensen stuff, and I'm the biggest Washington Redskin fan in history. He's a nice man. He's like a really nice man, and he signed a lot of stuff that really means a lot to me. That was great. And I will say, the first time I meet Thomari, he's in from California, and I go around and I'm doing hey, I'm Jack Moore, nice to meet you, going around. And all of a sudden I walked up to a guy and said, hey, very nice to meet you. He goes, Reggie Smith. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Reggie Smith. And I realized it was Reggie Smith. And then I went, a few minutes later, I went over and said, look, I got to go fanboy on you a little bit because I loved you as a kid. Oh, that was great. He was the nicest human being. And I dropped Gary Lavelle's name, and he loved Gary because they played together one year with San Francisco. So when I got back into town, I said, Gary, I saw, how's Reggie doing? So they were good friends. But he was one of those guys as a kid. He played on the 67 Sox, the Impossible Dream Team. Yeah, he meant a lot to me growing up. So then when I saw him and I realized, oh my God, it's Reggie Smith. But I don't want to guess on his age, but Reggie's up in age here. Well, he's probably mid-70s.
He's 80.
Is he old? Is he 80 now? Because the last time I saw him on film doing instruction, man, he looks great. Like he looks
he looks great. He takes good care of himself.
Good for him. Good for
Dodgers
him.
are up 3-0, guys. I don't know
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching this.
3-0.
We were going to kind of – we're going to get in the game. What did I tell you guys? They're going to have to get 7 games because of revenue. It's about that, right? They're going to get a 7th game.
Thomari, I wore number 8 as a child. So who do you think I was wanted to be like? I'm left-handed, but that's Cal Ripken.
Oh yeah, man.
I loved Cal as a
man.
kid. My grandmother sponsored something at a Jerry Lewis telethon, and we were in the parking lot of it, they were having a big auction and stuff, and somebody came out, an athlete from Detroit came out, and he ended up writing something. He gave me a hug, and my grandmother got to give him a kiss. And I think my sister has the portrait. It says, to the Berrios family and to the Berrios kids, best always. So very dear to my heart, it was Alan Trammell. Alan Trammell as a kid, he gave my grandmother gave him a kiss, and he gave me a hug in front of all these people. And my grandmother paid for him to take a picture with us and stuff. So Alan Trammell is a big deal to me. It's just nice to see a guy like Jack's real big on it, if you're a good guy or not, and to know that he's still that person when I was a kid. So it's kind of neat to see it,
Right, absolutely, man.
Cal Ripken meant a lot to me. Cal Ripken meant a lot. I just love the way he played the game.
100%.
I tell you something else I saw. I was working in a building in North Carolina, and this I thought was really neat. I was working in a building in North Carolina a few years ago, and this guy brings his kids in, and he's got a Yankees cap on, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a Yankees fan. So I said, hey, so you from New York? Yeah, I'm from New York. How you doing? There we are, right? So he's got his 2 kids with him. And I said, well, you got to be a Yankees fan. He goes, oh, yeah, I love Yankees. Matter of fact, we just got back from spring training. We're down at Tampa, Legends Field, or Legends Stadium there. Went to see the Yankees. And then he tells me this, and he pulls out the pictures. He brings the receipts. He's like, we're out walking in the hotel complex where we are, near where they play. And they walked into Stanton and Judge together. And he said, apparently these 2 guys are really tight. They're really close friends, but they come around. And I said, well, how is that for your sons? He goes, check this out. And he pulls the phone out. They got their arms around the kids. He's dude, they must have spent 20 minutes with my kids, talking to my kids, being nice to my kids. I said, really? He goes, I got to tell you, man, as a father, they're the 2 nicest young men I've ever seen. Judge and Stanton. And he showed the pictures. And he said both of them were just class acts. That he just thought the world of them. That they spent the time with his kids. I'm like, yeah, it makes you proud to be a Yankee fan, right? You got a couple guys there, and again, you hope it's that and not something the bad fan experience that somebody might have one time and find out their hero's not quite as nice as they thought they should be. All right, so we've gone through that. Thomari, you grew up an Oakland A's fan then?
So I never had a favorite team. I've only had favorite players.
Okay.
So I didn't. I don't know. People, they find that hard to believe. And with my wife, I always say I'm a bandwagoner. I never. Yeah. If you never had a favorite team growing up, I mean, it only had favorite players and players you follow. Right. It's like, hey, I can pick and choose on teams.
No, I get it. Well, what's funny about the growing up part? I liked Jazz for whatever reason. Then I loved Jim Rice. I loved Fred Lynn. I loved Dewey. Then the 75 World Series broke my heart, but I can't shake that I love the Red Sox. I can get on when Washington won the World Series the other year. Hey, I grew up 70 miles from D.C. I'm pulling for the Nats. Love Ryan Zimmerman. Saw him grow up in Virginia Beach. So, Daniel Hudson ended up closing. He's a Virginia Beach guy. So we had some history. Mark Reynolds had a little stint there with the Nats. Yeah. So we had some guys run through. Well, Zimmerman was kind of the face of the franchise. But, yeah, if I see the Nats do well, I'm happier than if they're not doing well. But I'm still a Red Sox fan, and I don't care whatever happens. It'll always be the Redskins to me, and I can't change that with pro football. It's always going to be that. I can't get with another team. So I think you're right, Thomari. If you're young and you take on the team, you kind of never really let it go. And if you don't catch it by a certain age, and you follow players, but I love George Brett in the 80s. I mean, as a high school kid, I started to really catch on to Brett. There were certain guys I liked, but I was a Red Sox fan. Pete, you were a Tigers fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a Tigers fan, but there was one team. I'm always a Detroit fan, but there's one team that I dreamed of playing for, and I had the great privilege of being a guest of them, and I got to walk on their field about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, and it was everything I thought it'd be. So there was only one team that I wanted to play for as a kid my whole life, and that was the Los Angeles Dodgers. I wanted to be a Dodger.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that. I got to go. As you know, Rick Honeycutt's a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah.
And I called Rick up, and he said, "Come on over." They got me on the field, and then I had a lady friend with me, and we got to go. I tell kids all the time, I got to go watch a fireworks show in center field, no blanket, didn't need a blanket, and I laid on that grass. And that was probably one of the highlights of my life. And I came up with the Oakland A's organization as the coach, and I've always been fond of the A's. But as a child, I dreamed and dreamed. And you know what? The first time I went to Dodger Stadium, it lived up to everything I thought it was. It was beautiful. Yeah. It was beautiful. And so I wanted to be a Dodger more than anything in the world. I love Dodger blue. So, and I've had dinner on several occasions with Tom Minnesota over the years. And Logan White from the front office.
Oh, yeah.
Logan's always a good friend of mine when I see him. He's always been kind to me. So I've gotten to hear I got some stories with Logan White and Tom Minnesota, but I wanted to be a Dodger more than anything. That was my team. So.
All right, Charles, before I come to you and we get into your history, I'm going to see if you can tell me this. The New York Mets became a major league team in 1962. 61 expansion was American League. There were two teams. The Washington Senators went to Minnesota and became the Twins, and they made a new Washington Senators, and the other team was the Los Angeles Angels. And if you go back and see the old black and white films of Wrigley Field out in L.A., which the Wrigley family also owned a AAA. Well, it was a Pacific Coast League team field. That's where they used to film the Home Run Derby in 1959 and 60. That became the first home of the Angels. So in 62, they added two teams in the National League, the Mets and the Colt 45s. It became the Astros. Okay. So now that we got that straight, what do the colors of the New York Mets signify or mean? Thomari's wearing one up. Thomari's big hint. Thomari's wearing one of them on his head there. The Dodger cap. Why do you think Why do you think the '62 New York team took on blue and orange?
Oh, because of the Giants.
And it's Dodger blue and Giant orange. That's what it is.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's why they did that. They gave.
I did not know that.
They put the team colors together.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Because the Giants were black and orange, and and of course the only red on the Dodger uniform famously is the number up front, which is all. Oh, by the way, can y'all see that right there? Can y'all see that? That's the 55 Dodgers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's one of those figurine things, I got it at this memorabilia shop. I saw it. Oh, and I got another Dodger. I got my Jackie Robinson back here covered by footballs, but I have the Jackie Robinson doll, which
nice.
Starting lineup. I find that at a memorabilia shop. But mostly what I do around here, of course, is have Washington Redskins footballs, but very nice footballs. But anyway, Yeah, that's why we had the team colors there. Yeah, we do have. Here we go. Bottom of third, 2 out. Springer is up to bat, and it is 3-0 LA Dodgers. So it's going to go 7 games. I told you guys it's going to go 7 games. It has to go 7 games. All right, now, next place we're going, and we're going to start with Charles. Chuck,
Yes,
are you
sir.
ready? All right, here we go.
Okay.
Your greatest World Series memory. What World Series meant the most to you?
Oh boy, here we go. Well, there's 2. I'll say this. My greatest memory, unfortunately, was the Yankees losing to Arizona.
2001.
But that was just one World Series. There's
Mhm.
one that's just way more important to me than any of the others.
Okay.
And it's a little story that goes along with it. I'm in New York in 1977,
Okay.
and we're there for a funeral. Yeah, 77, we're there for a funeral. And my father, it was my mother's cousin who had passed away,
Mhm.
and they lived in Queens. And my mother's, her cousin asked my dad, or the husband, let me get this right. My mother's cousin's husband asked my dad, did he want to go to a baseball game? This is in October.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Here we go.
And
Don't
my
don't
dad's
tell me
like,
he's there for Reggie's home runs.
let me finish the story.
All right.
Man.
I'm
Goodness
sorry.
gracious. So,
I just ruined that, didn't I?
so my dad's like, well, of course, why not? My dad wasn't a huge baseball fan, but he was,
Right.
big enough. So he goes to the game, and he comes back several hours later. My dad's like, dude, you have no idea
What I just saw.
what I just saw. First of all, and the guy's name was Johnny, who was my mother's cousin's husband. He had front row tickets right behind the dugout
Wow.
on the Yankee side.
Wow.
And
During the World Series. Whoa. That's,
during the World Series.
yeah.
And now Johnny was his name. Johnny was a chauffeur,
Mm-hmm.
but we never knew who he chauffeured for, because I do remember here in Virginia that they would come and visit every year, and they would register a whole bunch of cars that weren't theirs. Now, that was a common practice of people in New York because they wanted to avoid the taxes and so on and so
Right.
forth.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, my dad brought back a pennant from the World Series that had the entire Yankee lineup on it. And essentially, that's really where I became a Yankees fan. But there's a little bit more to the story than that. So, again, Johnny is a chauffeur. We never know who he chauffeured for, but he got his tickets from the guy that he chauffeured for.
Mhm.
But his boss couldn't make the game, so he just gave him his tickets. It's like, okay, again, never really thought about it. Let's fast forward about 30 years. And my mother and I sitting watching TV, and we're watching A&E as one of those crime channels, one of those crime TV shows. And my mother says, just out of the blue, that's who Johnny used to work for. And I look at her, I was like, you got to be out of your mind. There's no way that's who he used to work for. So here's the other part of the story. Johnny used to work out a lot. And he was in a gym one day, and this guy comes up to him and says, hey, do you need a job? He's like, no, I'm fine. I have a job. He's like, well, do you have a record? He's like, no. Why are you asking me these questions? Don't worry about it. Do you have a record? He's like, no, I've never been arrested or anything like that. He's like, would you like a job? I told you I already have one. Whatever you're making, I'll triple it. Okay, what do I have to do? I just need you to drive me around every so often. Are you asking me to do something illegal? It's like, no, I don't need
We
to
do all
anything
that.
illegal.
All you have to do is
Yeah.
drive.
He said, I would never put you in that position. I'm not going to do that. So
I got to
Johnny
guess.
drove for this guy for about almost 20 some years. And the guy that he ran into in the gym was John Gotti.
I was going to say John also.
So,
yeah. It's going to be.
Go
It's gotta be
figure.
Gotti.
The reason
Wow.
that John Gotti wanted him to drive for him was because
he didn't have a record.
He didn't have a record. This is a black guy from Queens. Just completely out of the norm as to someone that the cops will be looking for.
Not on anybody's list. Yep.
It
makes sense.
It explained why they had this huge house in Connecticut, right outside of New York, and he was the only person that worked, and his family was like 5 kids or something like that. They were all in private schools and so on and so forth.
Wow.
And how he got those tickets to the World Series.
Oh my.
So that all goes along with why I'm a Yankees fan. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Perfect sense. So you're a Yankees fan. So you have the heartache of 2001, but you're kind of making up for it with Reggie hitting home runs and winning in 77.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, yeah, my dad did go to that game. So he just happened to be there.
What?
Go figure.
Now, all right, Charles, we're going to keep testing you for your baseball knowledge. He hit 3 home runs. That was a 77, right? It was game 6 too. And what was interesting about the counts on the home runs?
Dude, were they all first pitches?
Yep.
Okay.
And how many different pitchers?
Oh, dude, I have no idea how many pitches.
3
pitches it were.
3 different
Wow.
guys, first pitch each time. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. This was one of those things. Yeah, he hit first pitch off the guy each time. And one of them was Charlie Howe that was like a big knuckleball. Charlie Huff.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a big knuckleball guy. And he hit that 6 miles. Bert Hooton was one of them, right? Hooton was a starter.
And then Sosa.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So he takes 3 out, 3. Okay, those are just kind of great memories. Okay, Thomari, favorite World Series memory?
Favorite World Series memory?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you this. There's been, like, me and my wife used to live in Maui. We ran a business in Maui, and then the other day, about 5 years ago, when the Dodgers went, and I don't think that was the World Series. I think it was like the 17-inning game. But then the other day, the 18-inning game, I would say that both of those moments, to say that I was able to because I stayed up till 3 a.m. the other day. When the Dodgers won.
Actually in 2018, also in Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers won against the Red Sox in the World Series. The Red Sox won the World Series. But yeah, the Dodgers won in 18 innings in that game as well, and that was also in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and then just watching Freddie Freeman, he won that one, and then last year, the walk off, like that. Yeah. I mean that surpasses the Kirk Gibson for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have this sentimental old stuff, but you're right. Sometimes you have to concede, which I struggle with.
Yep.
You have to concede that maybe something happening now is just as good or better. But I will say this, because I was thinking about it with pro football too. There's a point I checked out, and I really think it was baseball. It was 2020 when they shut, because I was at spring training. I saw Red Sox Yankees. I get in the car to start driving back, and Charles and I start talking about what's coming next. And Charles is like, yeah, they're going to do a 2-week shutdown to slow the curve, or cut the curve, slow the curve, whatever bullshit they said, whatever. And I was like, what? And he goes like, yeah. And then 3 months later, I'm like, it's still not normal, and baseball's not started, and this isn't right. And then it just kind of derailed everything. And it's kind of the same thing with pro football. Plus, they're playing powder puff now. They're not actually hitting anybody. So I kind of lost it for football as well. Petey, what's your best World Series memory?
The Gibson one's a big deal. I was at I was in the men's, 84 Tigers. Gibson had some big home runs against the Padres. And then when the Tigers won, 84 was a big deal. But I was in the men's grill. I was a busser at the Oakland Hills Country Club. It was a Friday night, and I got to go back in the men's grill, and there was an old Spanish guy back there and says, "Hey, Petey, come on back here." And you might even gave me a beer. I was like 17, 18 years old. And he said, hey, he had a little portable TV on in the back of the men's grill at the country club. And I watched Kirk Gibson hit that home run in the Oakland Hills Country Club. That was a really big deal to me, because having been a Detroit Tigers fan, and Gibson left to go to Los Angeles. So that home run there was it was pretty awesome, man. It was me and the little bartender guy sat and watched it. It was a moment I'll never forget. It was in 1988. So,
well, one of the stories I heard about that was that Gibson was Gibson's in spring training.
Yeah, that's awesome, Thomari.
In 1988, and like you say, he's come over from the Tigers, and guys took eye black and they put it on that kind of leather cover, the old ABC helmets that Rollins bought, but the old one ear flap helmet. It's got his ear.
Yeah.
So he grounds out. It's a spring training game, and he takes off the helmet, and he's coming in. He's got a black mark all the way across his forehead, and all these guys in the dugout, they think it's funny. And he catches on. He's like, "What the hell's so funny?" And they're all pointing and laughing at him. He slams the helmet, and he basically starts cussing and leaves. And the next day he comes. This was the story. This is the year they win the World Series. So the next day, he tells Lasorda, "I want to talk to everybody. I got to have this out with people." And they said he came in the clubhouse, 1988 spring training, and said, "You guys are losers. You're clowns. You laugh at things that don't matter. Hey, you want to put eye black? You want to put eye black up here and make a fool of me? I'll tell you this: pitchers hit somebody, I'll run in from left field and I'll kick his ass. I will back you. I will be the best teammate you ever had. You guys need to grow up and start playing baseball correctly." Slammed the door and walked out. And then you saw what happened that year. And everybody said it was like, oh, because Gibson said, I love that. He goes, "Pitches, you want to nail a guy? I will run in from left field and I'll kick his ass." So, but he said the eye black stuff, it's just got to stop. You think it's funny? You're getting your ass kicked every day. Change the culture. And they said he was a big part of changing the culture.
Jack, I got just a small little quick baseball story if I could share with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a Sunday morning. My mom says, "Hey, would you like to go to the want to go to the Tiger game?" So I grew up about 45 minutes north of downtown Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a nice little, middle class neighborhood, quiet little neighborhood, just about an hour north of Detroit. And so my mother and I go downtown the Tiger Stadium, the old one. And so we're getting ready. We park. We just my mom and I, and we walk up to the stadium, and we're standing in line to buy tickets, right? And so we're standing there. We're about 20 people deep at the box office, and as we're getting closer, some guy turns around to us guys and says, "Hey, I got 2 box seats right between home plate and the dugout of the visitors team, and you're going to be in the front row, and I'm going to sell them to you for face value right now, whatever they are." And for that moment, maybe they were $40 a piece. They were right, maybe $30 a piece. They were right first row. So we get in our seats, grab a couple of hot dog, maybe a soda. My mom and I are sitting there. My mom was a big sports fan. Johnny Bench was her guy when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting there, guys, and I get emotional. And we're playing a team that day, and her and I are in the front row, and 2 guys are on deck getting ready to start the game. And I literally could touch them. They gave us both knuckles at the time, and they were both standing there next to each other, and it was George Brett and Bo Jackson.
Ouch.
And, Thomari, they were a foot away from us, and our arms are on the bar. I'm 18 years old, and I bought the ticket. I think I had a landscaping job. So I had a couple $100 in my pocket. And George Brett was one of my mom's favorites. Well, they both gave us both knuckles at the same time, and they were, on top of it, doing the little weight mat stuff and just getting loose. And Bo Jackson's legs were as big as my whole body. One of his legs. And it was awesome. And the ironic thing was, I don't know if you ever heard the story about this. Yeah. Travis Fryman's first week in professional baseball was that week. He hit a walk-off home run like in the 10th, 11th inning of that game, and he was going around the bases like he was Kirk Gibson in the World Series. And Alan Trammell, if you ever watched Travis Fryman play in his career, he was very low-key, very conservative, didn't talk much. Well, in that whole game, he was playing short, and he was a hothead. He was doing funny stuff in between innings, very, very, very cocky, very exuberant. And when he hit the home run to win the game, I guess Trammell sat him down and said, "Be a professional. You don't need to act that way." So if you ever watch Travis Fryman play the game of baseball, he was very low-key as a player, not really flamboyant, but I was there in his first home run he ever hit in the big leagues, and he just seemed a little like out of place at that time, and Trammell sat him down. So, but to have that happen in front of me. And then another quick story was, as a kid, it got rained out back in the late 70s. My dad took us downtown Tiger Stadium, and it got rained out, but on the mound was Nolan Ryan with the Angels, and I got to watch Rod Carew come up in the first inning with that open stance, and we were there, and I got to watch a couple innings. So that's probably two of the great moments of my life being as a kid. But watching Nolan Ryan and Rod Carew play against the Tigers is pretty amazing. So, yeah.
So you saw Ryan throw live.
Yes, sir, I did. Yes, sir.
How good a view did you get? I mean, what kind of perspective?
My dad was great at spoiling us as kids. So, when you grow up through college and your dad works overtime to get you a new glove or get you tickets, he asked us, where do we want to sit? And I have two siblings, but it was only me and my sister that day. And he said, you want to go to the game? So we got up to the booth at the ticket office. He said, where do you want to sit? 20 minutes later, my sister and I were in the front row of Tiger Stadium behind home plate. So I watched Nolan Ryan pitch a couple innings, and it was unbelievable.
How old were you? How old were you at the time?
I would say he was with the Angels. So I would have said it was the late 70s. It was late 70s.
How old were you?
I was probably
11, 12?
Maybe 8 or 9. Yeah,
Okay.
I was born in
The reason I'm asking that,
probably 10 years old.
I mean, the reason I asked that, like, could you really see it? I mean, do you really remember it? Like, wow, that looks explosive. Does it look like?
You knew Nolan Ryan was pitching, so you knew who it was. Yeah, so it was. He was pitching against Dan Petrie, who was pretty good in his own right at that time. He's decent, really good pitcher for the Tigers. But this was late 70s, and then my pitching coach in college, I went to an NAI school. Was my first year was Bill Wilcox, former Detroit Tiger pitcher, and he gave me a gift of Dave Bergman, the old first baseman of the Tigers.
Yeah.
I got his glove in 2000. And my second year, because I pitched too as a position player, was Frank Tanana. So he always gave us some good stories about playing with Nolan Ryan. And you know this, Thomari, they came up with the Angels,
Right,
so
right.
Tanana was the guy that threw near 100, coming out of out of high school, in the Detroit area. So those are some really cool stories for me. I wanted to share with you guys that was very profound. They were very, very Milt and Frank Tanana just made you feel like you were a big leaguer all the time. And since we're on the subject, I spent a little time in the minor leagues as a coach, but my favorite player of all time, it's not even close, and I know a lot of big leaguers, is Gary Lavelle, former major league.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because every time I'm around Gary Lavelle, even though I had a nice little stint in the minor leagues as a coach, he's always made me feel like a big leaguer. So
He's a great man.
Guys like that, they're just not like that anymore. And Charles, I know you don't know me too well, but I know Thomari probably going on 20 years, to be honest with you. But
Okay.
and I know Jack a long time. You can't meet two better people in the world. I'm talking people. These two men, Jack and Thomari, are gifts from the heavens. And you want to talk about sincerity. You want to talk about humility. You want to talk about class. You want to talk about people who've been there, who understand it. And these guys are about as humble as you're ever going to meet. So it's been an honor to be on air with you guys tonight. You guys are just incredible people. And I know Charles has got to be in the same cloth because I know the company you guys are. So I just want to thank you for being a great friend to me and my family for all these years. So thank you, guys.
We love you, Pete.
I'm humbled
Thank
for
you.
you saying that. Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
Appreciate
Good
you,
people traveling on circles.
Right.
Yes.
All right, Charles,
Right.
Charles, let me know something real quick, brother,
Sure.
that I love there. Are you typing right now?
Oh, could you hear it?
Yeah, and I kept hitting mute on your thing, and it didn't make any difference. And you
Sorry.
stopped when Pete spoke to you. So I was just
Yes.
wondering, do you have like the keyboard like right up against the microphone? How you doing that? What are we working here?
No, it's
'Cause I
a
tried to
good
put
ways
you-
away.
Okay, but I
Um,
tried to put you on mute there to see if it would cut off, and I just kept hearing it. But we're all hearing it. But yeah,
We're pursuing our junior college is doing really well in women. So I won't lie to you. I'm pursuing a D1, women's coaching job. And I already made a point to some of my private people today. When it happens in the next couple of years, I will not accept the job at a major Division I college unless Jack Moore is on the staff. So I'm saying it publicly that when it happens in the next couple of years, it's been a lifetime dream of mine to coach I've coached at Division I college softball, but I've never been a head coach at the baseball or the softball level. But when it happens, Jack Moore will be on the staff or I will not take the job. So that's just, I already said it publicly to my handlers that I will not do it unless Jack Moore is with us. So, and I know tomorrow you'll be somewhere around it as well. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Charles.
I love you. You got to roll, Pete? Are you with us?
Yeah, a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a little bit more time too.
Yeah,
minutes.
I thought we would see Gil. We haven't, but yeah, we're going to keep doing this. Okay. I think this is, again, it's a good way to kind of do the sports bar type of thing.
I want to learn from Charles.
Yep.
Charles got a lot of knowledge up there. I want to
Yeah,
learn
absolutely.
from Charles. He's slick. I like the way he works.
Slick.
Now,
Yeah.
Charles and I go
Absolutely.
back. Charles, let's get a number on this because I think it's 25 years. I think it's every bit of 25 years.
Oh man, it's awesome.
It's rolling up on 25 for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Quash and
Yeah.
James Quash and I did a show the other night. Man, he's a lot of fun. I didn't know this. He was in the Black Panther Party. Did you know that?
I did not.
He
know
went
that.
from Black Panther to Republican. And he was talking about how
Okay.
we did this show. So let me just tell this story. It's baseball related tonight, but this is a great story too. My dad passed away in 2021, 92 years of age. His father lived about 92 as well, died in 2014. 2014, my dad goes to his father's funeral. We don't even know, like what I opened with about, Pete and I not knowing we both knew Thomari. So my dad calls me in 2014. He goes, "Hey, tell me about this wonderful friend of yours, James Quash. Love that guy." I'm like, "What do you know about James?" He goes, "Well, I just came from his father's funeral. I was introducing myself to his mom, and James said, you're Jack's father." Yeah, I love Jack. He's like one of my best friends. So we didn't know this. Our fathers were friends in the military, both officers in the United States Army Reserve, and knew each other. And we became close friends doing radio. So I met James in 96, I think, doing radio. When did you first start jumping on the air at NIS and all that? When did you start doing that? What year? Because that's how I found out about you. You kept pissing off Tony, but okay.
That would probably be about 99.
Then
Hold
that's
on,
it.
let me back up. No, that's not true.
All right, what's
I
that
used
true?
to be on with Perry and Pasquale a lot. So we're
Okay.
talking 95, 96.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then
That's-
I'm
that's
telling you,
what
I think we're pushing 30 years, brother. I think we are.
Yeah.
I think it's pushing 30. So did
Yeah,
you know?
so-
Did you know Leroy?
I never met Leroy. I never
did.
met him. But
That's the funniest thing.
I'd actually talked to him a couple of times on the
That
air when he was in the
hilarious.
studio with Tony. But yeah, I remember Leroy. Yeah, Leroy was a trip.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. So he went by, what was it? Leroy something, Thug of the
I
Airwaves.
can't. Yes, yes,
So
that's what it was. Thug of the Airwaves.
Listen, black guy from Ohio, right?
Oh,
goes
that
to
I don't remember.
All private schools, right? And he did it as a joke. And he would call these like conservative. He used to call the guy out in the West Coast. It was a conservative black guy. He would call him and get him all riled up, and it was a joke to him. So the first time I meet him in the studio, he's like, "No, dude, I'm nothing at all like you hear. I'm trying to make a career out of this. Like, be this, yeah." And he did it. And he was funny as hell. But anyway, God,
He
that's
kind of
cool.
reminded me of Colbert. Colbert did that.
Yeah,
that,
but this is a little bit more calculated. That was a selling of the other. I think the other guy might have been selling it sold. I think this guy. I thought it was funny. He got some mileage out of it. He got on some national shows doing that. Anyway, so now we're going to talk radio, but I think you're typing again.
No, I'm
okay.
not touching. That's not me, man.
That's not you anymore. I say we're
No.
getting some other peripheral notes. Okay,
No.
so here's the update. It is the top of the fifth. It is 3-1 LA. It's one out, and someone that swings the bat very well for the Dodgers is up. And he just hit a fly ball down the left field line. It's hooking, and it's in the seats foul.
He just grounded out the first. Got it out.
So you're ahead of me a little bit. Okay. Yeah, mine might have been behind.
Right there, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if we were gonna like. Be careful with that. There, I don't know what the rules are about. We got to check with the legal department. We have no legal department.
You're the head of the legal department.
No,
Yeah,
Charles,
you're the legal department.
no, Charles is my lawyer. Charles is my
Okay.
lawyer. Now that's part of the reason we do this talk radios. He has had some of the greatest takes on things. He'll call me, hey, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and let's just cut to the chase. Your best one ever was. Do you think that West Virginia was legally admitted as a state? What? Like, what the hell? And then I start researching. There's all these books written on it, and what the Constitution. I'm like, where did you find that? And that's the kind of stuff we talk about. Yeah, how many times a day do we talk about crazy crap like that? Right, that's what we do. So
all the time.
Yeah, it's all the time. We're always trying to figure the world out. We have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you guys got to meet. So now you're seeing my baseball buddies. You're seeing the
Yes.
guys.
It's an honor, Charles.
Hey, same here, brother. Same here.
Yeah. All good people. Okay. I think the World Series are going to go 7 games. We got to do this again soon. What would you like to say in closing today, Thomari? What you got for me?
Well, I just want to, first of all, thank you, Jack, for having me. Pete, man, it's great to see you. Always a pleasure. I look forward, and Charles, it's an honor, and I'm serious, it's an honor to meet you. And anytime you can fellowship, talk baseball, and just kind of share with each other your life experiences, and it's why we played the game, it's why we're fans of the game, and it's that brotherhood that I just really feel really grateful to be a part of. And I look forward to the ABCA this year coming up. So we gotta all link up, ABCA together, and break some bread and talk some more baseball.
So Thomari, do this for me too, brother. Tell everybody where they can find you, anything you have coming up, all your social media outlets, things that people can reach you, and all the things you're doing. Please tell everyone that.
Well, thank you, Jack, for this forum.
Absolutely,
I appreciate you. Yeah, we so Team Avenue Sports. We've Team Avenue Baseball has been going on for almost 20 years now. Pete's been a part of it. Obviously, Jack, you've been a part of it, and we have a tournament. A camp in Tampa, Florida, the 12th through the 14th of December. We got Reggie Smith coming out there.
Awesome.
We got Edwin Jackson coming out there. You know what I mean? Edwin Jackson actually came on board with Team Avenue Sports.
Awesome.
So, and then with the Player Alliance, they're going to be there. And so definitely that's you can teamavenuesports.com. You can go log on to that. And then, with also we have a big NIL initiative with Athlete Legacy Circle, where we're basically taking family offices, high net worth individuals, and professional collegiate players, and we're putting them in the same room. We host events. We help them with their brand, their branding, their image, their name, image, and likeness. And we actually bridge the gap with venture capital, family offices, and then with the athletes, and give them the education that they need. When we came up, we didn't go to school for credit. We didn't go to school for how to create and properly structure your entities. So, giving that ability for us to do that, it's just I feel really blessed. So that's athletelegacycircle.com. So either of those, and again, thank you for this forum. It means a lot to me.
You don't know how much it means to me to catch up with you. I love you. Gonna see you soon, face to face. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun at the convention. Pete's going to be there. Charles, you need to go to the convention. Laura's going.
You gotta come, Charles. You gotta come, man.
Come to the baseball convention.
Okay.
No, seriously, it's all the fun you can possibly handle. Petey, what you got for me on the way out, brother?
I'm the head coach at Bryan Stratton College. We're one of the top Division II JUCO softball programs in the country. Kelly Aarons is with us. He's the one that posts a lot of the stuff on his Facebook and what we're doing. I have a brand new company that just got trademarked finally, Thomari. So Riser Athletics, it's RIZER, so it'll be riserathletics.com. You'll see the official website coming out here within the next couple months, but it just got officially trademarked. So we're really, really proud of that. It's been a couple years to get that all finalized, but it's finally got done, and I'm really excited about it. I'm a longtime hitting professional, but anytime you can learn stuff from Charles and Thomari and Jack and all the people we've met over the years, I just like passing the word on to the next generation. So I'm really proud of the things that we're going to be offering Kelly Aarons and I are going to be doing a lot of forums this summer. We have a lot of clinics based up and down the East Coast that we're really, really proud of. But look for Brian Stratton, college softball, Virginia Beach, and we think we're gonna make a run. We think we're gonna bring the national championship finally home. We've knocked on the door in the last couple of years. We've taken a program that was non-existent 4 years ago, and now we're ranked in the nation. And this is the best team we've had now going into our 4th year. We won a conference championship. We won a regional championship. We've been in the College World Series. Won a couple Coach of the Year awards.
Wow.
And now we think this is it, Thomari, Charles. So
You got it.
Let me say this real quick for everybody listening, because I saw this happen. When Petey came back into town to take over the team, I think they'd won 7 games in 3 years or something like that.
It was 7 years.
Wow.
27 games in 7 years.
Okay. Okay. I was making a little bit better there for you, brother. But okay. Anyway, it wasn't a lot in the previous years. First year he pushed 30 wins. Second year he's in the World Series. Last year 30+ wins again. So, I'm gonna have fun with you, brother, because I love you so much. I've never had as much fun coaching with anybody in my life as I do Pete, and it's interesting. It's a lot of fun. And my favorite moment with Petey, and I'll go to my grave, it'll be the greatest time I ever had, was the exposure towel. Okay, so we're coaching travel baseball together, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's like Marine Corps basic training. He's got 3rd-year guys that are like talking back to him, and first-year guys that are scared to death. Like they physically can't move. They're so scared. And I started to see it. The 2nd-year guys are starting to get it. And guys that have been with them 3 years, like, screw you, Pete, I'll do whatever. There's the guys, they'll talk back a little bit, and they've really grown up, but they have to go through this. So we go to, I think we were at East Carolina.
East Carolina University.
Yeah, we're at East Carolina, and he's got a cooler, and it's hotter than hell. It's 106 degrees. In North Carolina there, and we've got a cooler and a towel. And he goes, so we're going to come in here. We're going to show everybody what's what, right? No, you got exposed. And then he pulls the towel up to reveal the cooler. And then he would start getting randed up again. He'd cover it with the towel, but you got exposed. And those kids got a kick out of it in the end. They were actually laughing about it a week later, but in the moment, it's your best work. I thought it was one of your best ever. But you got the point across. They did come in with the mindset. They found that they weren't as good as they thought they were, and it was a wake up call. But anyway, what he does works. I've never seen anyone I've coached with that had players better prepared to play. When it comes to defense, execution, what you're supposed to do, they don't always get it right, but they damn sure were told how to think through every situation. And you can imagine, and I've seen it every year. His team starts to roll downhill. It's a little tough at first. They pick up momentum and they roll downhill because it all starts to come across. But I respect you, brother. You're one of the best teachers. And what you did today relative to your team and your family was wonderful. It's what makes you the man that you are. You got a great. No, I love you. I love your family. I've been with this family for holidays. I feel like a part of the family. So this is a wonderful guy. Thomari, same feeling. We're family, brother.
Yeah.
Charles, we go back a quarter of a century. So Charles, close it up. Tell us what a wonderful guy fest this was. Brothers here together.
The older I get, the smaller my circle becomes.
Okay.
So I become more and more selective when it comes to the people that I allow in that circle. So I have to say that you two guys, Jack's already there, but you two guys, the exception, man. You guys, you're real good guys, man. I really enjoyed this time that we've been, talking to each other. And this is just the first time, so I'm really looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, we got to keep doing
Likewise.
Yeah.
God bless you guys. Holidays are coming. God bless you.
I don't do much else right, but I can tell you one thing. I do surround myself with some of the best human beings on earth. I have definitely I do praise the Lord and thank God for that, because I have really had some great people run into my life. And all of you included. So all listening, all live streamers here listening, God bless you all. This will be up. And Pete, you plugged some of your stuff. Tomorrow you plugged some stuff. Charles, you got anything you want to plug?
More to consider.
Our show,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, more to consider.
We got to figure out
subscribe and comment.
Do that again. Do that again. Do that again with your best radio voice.
Please like, subscribe, and comment to more to consider.
Gentlemen, God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank
Right.
you. Thomari,
Right.
Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you guys.
Be in touch with all you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jack.